Okay, so I think that's the signal that we're recording.
All right.
And and so just as a way of a brief introduction, Justine Wherry, and he is going to present his modification of the MFG template with the idea that potentially if we're able to follow sort of the order of operations of this thing. Hi, Charmaine, you back with us? All right, sorry, I popped in, maybe connection issue. So with the idea that possibly you can underwrite a T12 in a very short amount of time and really speed up that process. And not only that, but improve the accuracy of the underwriting. And not only that, but once others look at your underwriting, they're going to be able to see exactly where each and every number came from. So it sort of kills, what's a better expression? It sort of achieves multiple goals at one time. Okay. All right, so Justin, with that, go ahead and take it away.
All right.
And are you going to talk to us as you work?
Sure, I can.
Okay, please.
All right. So in the T12 right now, I use a lot of shortcuts, hotkeys to do all of the functions that I'm doing here. So um, right now, when I went to the T12, I used Shift Control C or Shift Control and down, and that highlights. You can highlight multiple rows and columns that way. And then I went into the T12, pasted it. I also used hotkeys there, so Control V. But you can also uh, right click, and this menu comes up. You can do the same thing here. So I'm gonna paste that. On over, on down. All right, got all of it. Now that I've got all of that highlighted, what I like to do is clear the formatting, put everything in the center, in the middle, text wrapping, and from there, I like to take the total. You know what? Let me do this. Here instead. So again, clear the formatting, put it in the center, middle, text wrapping, and from there I'll take the total, Control X, which is cut. I will Control V, paste it here. I also like to, just to kind of make it a little bit easier to look at, I'll hide the cells that I'm not going to use or be looking at. Also makes it a little bit easier to navigate the Excel file. So again, Control Shift and down, and that'll take you to the bottom of the document. It'll highlight all of that. I'll hide the rows. Now I'm going to go to this cell here, take it all the way to the top. I'll press Shift and left click to highlight all of that. What I'll do is make them all real numbers. If there are any parentheses or anything like that, sometimes it won't recognize that as a number. So I've done that. So now that I've got that, I'm going to go here. I've got a drop down menu here that I've loaded with a bunch of different categories for each of the line items. I'm going to copy this, Control Shift down, Control V paste. And now I've got the drop downs in every cell for each of the line items. Now I'm going to go through. Each of these drop down menus are searchable. So if I were to click on this one, I'm going to put this as the gross scheduled rent here. And you know what else? I'm going to hide this one because I don't need that column. I'm going to go to this one here. I want to put that as the gross scheduled rent. So I'm going to type in G. Gross scheduled rent pops up. Put that in there. I also need to put the last 3 months of income. I'm going to insert formula. So sum. Go to this symbol right here, and it will insert the sum formula automatically. Click on those. 3, and that's the last 3 months of income there. Now I'm going to go down here. This is concessions, obviously. C, employee allowance, C, vacancies, V, delinquent, C, prepaid, other income, HA, concessions, credit, other income, bottom concessions, month to month. I'm going to put that as other income remaining. I'm going to also put that as other income. One function that you can also do is once you've got a cell highlighted, you can grab onto that little square. Once the plus comes up, you can just drag it down and it'll copy what's in that cell to the next cell. All right, so now we're going to go to other income. We'll type O, other income, and I'm going to drag this down. Here, we don't want to include the total because the total it's being totaled for us. So you'll see that in a little bit here. This is utility reimbursement. I'm going to drag that down as well. Let's see, utility reimbursement. Total income. Let's just put that there. Utilities. Type in U. All right. R&M here. Back there. Payroll. Contract services. All right. Placement parts. I'm going to call this RM as well. Turnovers. Make ready. Yep. General admin. There. That's marketing. Okay, might be missing something. I'll come back. Marketing. That in there. Other expenses, management, taxes, and insurance. Professional. Put that as general admin. Total expenses. And nope. That's it. Total operating. There we go. And then NOI. Right? All right, so that's that. Now let's go over to the property tab. What you'll notice is all of this stuff is populated. So one of the other things that I like to do is put in the date. For this particular property, we have 271 units. So we type that in. And this is 255,134 for the rentable square feet. Now, if we're saying that this property is for things in this area, this is Evansville, Indiana, are trading at a 6 cap. We've already got the quick tab loaded here on the property tab. So, and it's all connected to the effective gross income, total expenses, and the NOI. So we've got the price per unit automatically populated for us. So what I did there was Control C, right? I use that hotkey, Control C. And I'm going to go over here. What I've got here is a drop down with price per unit from 60,000 to 200,000 in increments of increments of 5. So 60,000, 65,000. Anyway, if you press, you can either press like right click on that cell and go to paste special. And once you've copied the price per unit over here, you want to paste values only. That'll put in exactly what's here. If you just press paste, it's going to put the formula that's here, and we don't want that. So paste values only, and that's going to give us the price per unit based on this quick tab information. Before we move any further, though, let's double check to make sure that these are lining up. Let's check what the effective gross income is. $1,852,472. One off, I'll take it. 1,361,962 for the expenses. All right, 4 off. It's close, not too bad. 495.14. So we're in the ballpark, right? So now we're pretty much trading apples to apples at this point. All right, so we checked that. The other thing would be this. This is an important one. The mill rate. So we all know, like, that's something that we do need to get from the tax assessor. But anyway, just kind of looking at everything, that's what this would look like at a 6 cap. And we're pretty much done with that. Now, one of the things that we've got in here are the expense color key based on the rules of thumb. So on hours per unit, all of ours default to whatever the rule of thumb is if theirs is below our rule of thumb. So got it defaulted there and then color coded so your eyes can just move over that quickly. If it's yellow, it's above what our rule of thumb is. And then what that will enable you to do is be able to speak to that if there is a question from the broker as to, so what about this didn't work? Well, you can say, well, the payroll is a little bit higher than what I would be looking for, and you can then ask questions about that. You could also ask about the marketing being higher than what our rule of thumb is, but their marketing is probably that high because their vacancy is pretty high. So now you've got, I mean, you're equipped to start talking about this property and asking questions in a very informed way. The other thing that you can do is if they're saying, okay, well, this isn't going to work for you, where does it start working for you? You can go through the drop down for the price per unit and start playing with the numbers until it does get to where you want it to be. But this is obviously lower than the numbers that I have in the drop down. So let's put this at, or yeah, it's still lower. But you can also type in here as well. So like if you wanted to put 20,000, put that, and it'll start to, give you what you need. So the other thing that is pretty powerful about it is if we're, say, I'm underwriting this and I'm underwriting this with someone else. We're underwriting this as a team. And you wanted to know, well, man, I don't see anything in here for bad debt. And you may think that, okay, something that I put in here probably is bad debt, and I didn't put that down as bad debt. It's very easy to come over to the T12 tab and just change something to bad debt, right? Just type in, nope, don't do that. You change that to bad debt. And now when you come over to the property tab, it's changed it for you, right? Your effective gross income stays the same, but now these changes have been made. So if there's a discrepancy between, well, I think this is bad debt versus concessions or what have you, those changes can be made easily. And you can put in the notes, hey, I think this was actually bad debt, not concessions. And so it's a very easy way for us to communicate if we're underwriting these properties as a team. So yeah, that's kind of it right there.
All right, was that under 10 minutes for him? What do you think, Torino? Was that under 10 minutes? and notice the system of switching, notice when he switched it from concessions to bad debt, pulled it out of concessions, put it into bad debt, kept that same effective gross income. And, I haven't talked to Justin yet, but he could make that effective gross income go green there if it matched the one on the other page. I know he could write this. He could make that go green. He could make the total expenses go green and the NOI, and you wouldn't even have to look at it. So even that step could be eliminated. And I don't even know if it was 10 minutes because he was talking. He can click through this without talking, probably in 5.
Yep.
And it's a full T12 underwritten right there. So it happened so fast. I don't know if I realize what I'm looking at. Okay, so I think now at this point, we should take 5 or 10 minutes and kind of go around the room and see possibly what your comments / questions are. And give me raise your hand or something. Give me a notice if you want to ask first. Go ahead, Tarina.
2 questions, Justin. So that box that says possible payout to student team, I noticed that it was changing as you were changing things in column D. It was automatically changing. That is the 50% total?
Yeah, so that's actually not Justin's change. That's mine. That's in the newer MFG template. You know, I went to an event with, do you guys know Erin Hudson? She works with the Quattro group.
Oh, okay. Quattro, yeah.
Yeah. Very vivacious, you know, she talks like Anthony Robbins Jr. kind of thing, and when you won't miss it if you see her. But she said something, one of the sponsorships I thought was cool, and I thought I would build it into the template. She said they give away 50% of the AC fee to the person who does the deal. And I thought that was cool. So that's a little off topic from Justin's changes, but what it's doing, Tarina, it's taking the AC fee, subtracting out the EMD expenses because we like to pay those back out of the AC fee, and then splitting it in half with the student.
Okay.
That's what that's doing. And so when he's adjusting the price property, it's running through the change of the AC fee.
Okay. Okay. Now my second question, I mean, what we were seeing you do in column, well, what was happening in column D, it was automatically populating, and that was from your Prop 1 T12 tab. So you created these drop down lists, and somehow that column A or the totals from C were now being transferred over to the Prop 1. Exactly. So where you put in a formula?
Yes.
Okay. And that formula is in column A or column C?
Neither. So column A and column C are both connected to data sets somewhere else. And what I've basically told the file to do is whenever I put this in column A, take whatever is in column C and put it in this place.
In column D on the Prop 1
all tab. You really need to remember is that there's data sets attached to column A and column C. So as long as you put the totals in column C and you put whatever the category is in column A beside that line item, it's going to automatically populate in the property tab. And it does that for all seven
properties. Oh, wow.
Independently, yeah.
That's really cool.
Justin has a theory, Tarina, on that note. You're going to keep asking your question. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but on that note, Justin has a theory that he likes to hide the unused tabs. See, he's only got 3 tabs at the bottom, but he's got them all there. Justin, show us how to unhide the second property.
Sure. So if you go to all sheets, these lines here, it has all of the property tabs and the comprehensive and all of this stuff here. So you just find the one that you want to unhide, click on it, and it appears. And it's set up the exact same way as the Property 1 tab. And so is the Property 2 T12 et cetera, et cetera. And they all work the same way. They're all independent of one another, and they all coordinate to the combo tab. So they'll all populate in here just like it was before, but it's automated.
Oh, that I like that. Okay.
Yeah, and you can hide them. I don't like. It's not that I don't like. I feel like that it's easier for me to take smaller bites. If I take things in smaller chunks and gradients, it's easier for me to focus on just that one piece. And then when it's time for me to move to the next piece, I'll do that. And so if I'm underwriting a portfolio, I've done a few of them on this, just one at a time, one thing at a time. And then when it's time for me to focus on the combo, I can do that.
Okay.
And, I just like the smaller pieces, and
yeah,
I focus it down like that.
Huh. Okay. I like that.
Now, Tarina, you know how you process the T12 and you use the bucket list, and you're not alone. I know a lot of individuals that use that bucket list to write. Do you think this would help you process without that bucket list? Because the whole point in my mind of the bucket list is, Justin, click over to that T12. The whole point is being able to communicate with somebody else.
Right.
What exactly went into the concessions bucket, for example? And now I can simply look at column A. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see 5 concession items. I know they're in there, and I could independently add them up if I didn't trust it. But it communicate, like if you underwrote this and gave it to me, I would just look at what you called concessions, and I know what's in that bucket now.
Yeah.
Would this possibly help you consider going past that bucket list step or no?
Well, let me first say I don't like the bucket list. It's extra work for me. But as you said, it's a good tool for communicating with others to explain where you got your numbers. But yeah, I think by automating these line items, that certainly would help or do away with a lot of the bucket list, the need for the bucket list. But the only thing, though, is for bad debt, one of the rules of thumb is to only consider 50% of it, right?
Yeah. So that is one feature that I would add to Justin's modifications. I'd like to expand his a little bit, and I'd like to an other income good and an other income bad, and I'd like to have it go back and do a little bit more analysis on that, which would be a small change to what he's done. It would be a small addition. He's done the bulk of everything. It would be just a tiny addition to change that. And I think I would leave it, 50% is sort of a Lindahl rule of thumb. Sometimes you want to change it. Sometimes you want to say 100% you want in for whatever reason. You kind of want it 50% standard, but maybe you want the option to change it. So I think that could be done pretty easily in addition to his changes.
It's pretty good. Simplicity.
It's key.
Okay, excellent questions. Who else has got questions? So it's 5:46 now. Would it serve everyone for Justin to walk through it one more time, but maybe now at half speed the prior?
I'm a slow learner, so I'll raise my hand first on that.
Okay, so that's a yes, Hundy.
Yes.
Okay, what do you got, Michael?
That's a yes for me too.
Nice, thanks, Starr.
No, I was just saying I guess we all need to see it again, and we all need to go and do the steps ourselves, and actually whether you're going to copy and paste in or use Justin's process of the hotkeys. So that's something that I guess I have
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Okay, so let's have him do that. But one last check-in before we do. Lucian, Pedro, David, Aubrey, and Jay and Charmaine. Would that work for you, or do you have comments before he starts?
No, that works for me. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I'm gonna have to look back at the recording and just play, pause, implement, play, pause, implement, kind of thing. That's how I learn.
Okay.
I'm the same with David. But Justin, are you a programmer?
No, I'm an engineer for the local power utility. I draw power lines.
That works for me as well. I mean, I like the drop-down boxes. I usually use just number codes. Using SumIfs definitely makes the workbook more dynamic. The conditional formatting with the rules of thumb range is definitely very visually helpful. I do like Max's suggestion where you could apply conditional formatting to NOI. Max, can you go over what you were suggesting there again?
Oh, well, see how Justin's already coding, and I can't scroll down, Justin. Go back to the T12 and scroll down.
Okay.
Scroll down to where you marked the total, right there, stop. Total rental, the 1.8 million you marked there. Total rental income you marked. See it right there? So he's already identifying this number. It wouldn't be too hard. Now go back to prop 1 template. It wouldn't be too hard for Justin to drop in a formula right here into D19 that says if the matching effective gross income from the T12 is within 10 or $10 plus or minus, make this cell green. And then you don't even have to check it visually. It's going to do it for you by color, and you can go, I got green, I got green. It would be even faster. It only took him 10 seconds to check it visually. But at the same time, that's already in, the data's already there. You could put that in probably 5 minutes, you know, type thing. That's all I was getting at.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool because it's right there on the same tab.
Right. So,
Justin, start over again. I think we're all on the same page. Talk us through, and then if you're, let's not take too much time because we got to have him done by 6:15. So you got 15, you got 25 minutes to do it again. But we do have time to sort of stop him along the way and say, what did you do there again? Okay, so we've got some opportunity to do that here over the next 25 minutes.
all right. So I'm just gonna highlight all of this, delete it. We can start from scratch. Let's see. Get rid of that. I'll leave the drop downs in there. So
Take those out too, because I want you to show recopying those.
okay.
Yeah, from the very beginning. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
big key.
No problem.
Out of curiosity, Justin, why don't you just leave those in there on the template? Why do you copy them in each time?
Because the number may vary. The number of drop
The
downs.
location of the number may vary.
The amount of cells that you need may vary. I don't know. Sometimes they have hidden cells within each, and so I just
Fair enough. I hear you. Okay, so sounds good. We can learn. We can copy it. That's only one small step.
Okay. So
Go back and show us. Also, go back and show us the UT and show us how it's cleared out. Also, you know how you just deleted all that. Yeah, just let us visually. So here we are back at the UT, back at the beginning. Take out your units. Yep, good. Thank you. Thank you. Put that back to 0. Thank you. Thank you. So this is back to. Okay, nice.
very beginning. All right. So.
All right. So you're opening the T12 document.
Right. And
Now explain to us where you copy from, because this is important. If we copy in kind of the wrong stuff, this goes a little haywire. So kind of talk us through that.
Okay, what I like to do is go to the row that has the months and the total and start there. And then I'll press Control Shift and down and then that will take you to the bottom of the document. And Control Shift up.
Does Control Shift allows you just to highlight as you drag down like that?
Right. Well, not even drag down. I'm pressing the down arrow on the keyboard.
Okay. Control Shift down arrow.
Right. And you can do the same thing going right or left with the columns. So Control Shift and any direction arrow will highlight all of those to the end of the document if you hold it, or sometimes just press it once if there's nothing there.
Okay. So keep going.
Highlight everything, copying that. So I'm pressing Control C, but you can right click and press copy.
Go back up and just show us the top again, because that's when you're starting the copy. See how he's got the dates in there, but not the whole header? He's starting at the dates. That's the important start point, and he's going down bottom. That's it. You can practice with the Control Shift down arrow to see how that works. Okay, that would be one thing you can practice with.
And then let's go the MFG template. I like to paste it here so that the months are right underneath this line here. So what I've done is I've frozen these cells, these three columns, and then these 3 rows, so that when you scroll down, these don't move. You still see those no matter what.
Justin, in that E3 point, I'd love it if we did something in there. We said paste point or something, just sort of highlighted to people, hey, do your pasting in this E3. That's the magic cell right there. So go ahead.
We can do that. So I'm going to paste here, and you can just do a regular paste. Once everything is highlighted, you're going to have all of the information highlighted. You go to Format, Clear Formatting. You can use the hotkey, Control / or backslash, whichever slash that is. This one. I mean, I like to have everything in the center, align it in the middle, text wrap. Now, from here, what I like to do is take the total, or what you need to do, really, in order to get everything to work.
Did you change them to the number format yet?
Not yet.
Okay, got it.
Not yet. If you do that, okay. If you do that with the months highlighted, it'll
right.
Look at it as a math equation and change it.
Okay.
What it is. So I don't do that to the months. That's a good thing you brought that up. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm gonna click on the column, the top, the letter for the column of the total, and then I press Control and left click on the ones that I don't want to move over here to these frozen columns. So now that I've gotten this entire column highlighted, I'm pressing the hotkey Control C, or you can press Control X, which is cut.
You highlighted the whole column, and then you did Control Shift down arrow?
No, I highlighted the whole column, then I pressed Control, and then I left clicked on the cell that
Control left click.
Right. And then I right click on it, Control X, or cut that information, and I'm going to highlight the cell that says total, and then I'm going to paste that there.
And just so the viewers know, you could have just highlighted that column and gone a slower route and just started your mouse and highlighted it like normal. You're just doing a fancy, quick way of highlighting the whole column, right?
Correct. You can just highlight it like
starting at that total cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next thing that I do, just to kind of taper the size of what you're looking at down, I'll highlight the first empty cell to the right of all of the information that we have, or excuse me, first empty column to the right of the information that we have, and I'll press Control Shift, right arrow on the keyboard, and I'll highlight everything to the right of the document, all of the columns to the right. Then I will right click on the letters at the top and go to hide columns S through AJ. And now all we see is the columns that have information in them.
And that's just to clean it up kind of move, because now you don't see any of those columns to the right, and your eye can just focus on this. That's all there is at the moment.
Correct. I'll scroll down to the bottom, and I'll do the same thing for the bottom of the tab. Control Shift down arrow on the keyboard, right click, hide rows 198 to 1000 or whatever it is. And now that's all you have, the cells with information in them. Then I will right click or left click, excuse me, on the bottom right cell in the document, scroll up, and I will press Shift and left click here right under total so that it highlights all of the information underneath the months and the total. And then I'll go to more formats, number, and then I'll get rid of the decimals. So now the document's gonna recognize all of these as actual numbers. And go to the drop down that I have loaded here, copy that, and then you can press Control Shift and down, and it'll take you to the bottom of the document, and then you can press paste, right click and click on paste, or press Control V. And now you've got drop downs in this entire row or entire column, excuse me.
Now it's ready to code.
Now it's ready.
Go back and show us the property UT and how it's still blank right now.
Wrong one.
There we go. So see, nothing's changed yet. Then go back to the T12, and on your first one, like when you code that gross income, code that and kind of click back and forth now, just to, because you can do this on when as you're doing this, right? The first time through, when he's in a speed mode, he's not checking back and forth. But when you first start running through this, you're going to want to check back and forth just to see if you believe it's really moving the numbers over, right?
So I'm going to put this down as the gross scheduled rent, 2631946, right there.
There you go, Trina. Pretty slick, huh? Okay, now do multiple ones. Go back to concessions and code those and kind of click back and forth and show them adding up as you go.
Okay. Why don't we do this?
Nice. Very fancy, Justin. I like where you're headed with this. This is awesome.
I'm trying to do it. Hold on.
Yep, I see what you're doing. Keep going. You're going to do it.
Come on now.
Yep, come on, cooperate.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
So.
Oh, awesome.
Sessions.
See it populating, Tarina? Is it going slow enough that you can see it, Tarina? Okay, nice.
And if you guys see something that you want to change, just let me know and we'll change it. Here, for the last 3 months, you're going to have to insert the sum function. And what I could probably do is just go ahead and preload that. That would probably be something that would streamline things even further.
How would you preload it?
Just have it be at the top last 3 months, and then when you get to the point where you're going to enter the last 3 months, click on the cell that's going to have the sum already in there, and then you could just highlight the cells that you want, press enter, and you got it. I just haven't done that, that's all. And last 3 months, right? Other income. Remember, you can drag this down and then go back if there's something that you see that you want to change. You just change it.
Now it looks like you might be 10 grand off on the effective gross income.
Okay. So let's do this.
Keep going, but yeah, okay, go ahead.
Let's make an equation then. Let's try and find it. And that happens then, like, you know, if you're moving fast, sometimes this minus this equals 1 off.
Oh,
It's only $1.
oh, I can't see the resolution. Maybe I thought it said 1,862,000.
No, that's 5.
No, it's 52. It's just $1.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
All right, nice. So that's on.
Back to RN. Yeah, and the expenses usually flow a little bit better than the income. Payroll.
And notice how he's summing up the numbers involved that contribute to the total, but not that total. If you start adding that total in, things will go awry. But
Yeah, that's put it way off. Contract services, and then, you know, I guess I should probably demonstrate this too. It's just as it may just be just as easy for you to just click on the arrow and scroll down to whichever line item it is. If that's the case, that's fine. Or, you know, if you need to go through every one and do it that way, you can. You know, but I just find it a little bit easier to drag that little square down. It's a little bit quicker. Parts, R&M, and turnover, make ready. Administrative, general admin, and then website expense is marketing. Marketing service, advertising, marketing. Oh, that's not it. Other expenses, this is management, real estate taxes, that is also taxes, this is insurance, other personal, I would say general admin. And if there's anything that you guys would want to change, let me know. We can change it. And, you know, but this is.
You're just saying it makes it easy for us to argue about what goes in which bucket, right?
Right.
Go ahead, Trina.
Well, what about licenses and permits? Would that not be general?
Taxes, licenses, and permits. Which I don't know.
Oh, the word taxes is a part of that. Okay.
What you think?
Yeah. Well, if it's taxes, it's taxes. Okay.
Anybody else?
That will be a question to ask the broker to get some more clarification on that, because licenses and permits I would put under general admin, but that word taxes there just needs some clarification.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
I wouldn't be with either of you guys if you wanted to call that admin, because remember, it's all being put into that expenses list that's being subtracted out, right? So
Right.
putting in, it's $32, right? So just make a choice. If you want admin, put it in admin. You know, it's not choose and go, I would say, on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it in both admin and taxes. It's important just to be consistent. I do have a question. Why are the headers in rows 1 and 2 there?
So originally, what I was doing, so Max and I had a conversation about a property that I had underwritten, and he asked me where I got the numbers that I got. I couldn't explain it to him. And so what I did as a next step for the next property was I put these line items in there and I color coded them. So what I would do then is I would go in and I would copy, and then whatever the number was, I would paste format only. Oh, wrong one. I would paste the format only, and then it's not doing that. Anyway, I would put the color beside whichever value that I wanted to show him. I'm not sure why it's doing that.
Yeah,
Anyway, but you understand what I'm saying to you. Like, I would take that color and paste it where management is so that he could quickly do that. And the other thing that I was doing along with this was I was putting in a hyperlink. So I would get a link to this cell, or actually get a link to this cell, and I would go over here to management and I would insert the link, paste that, and now this is going to take you, if you click on this, it'll take you directly here. So I was using this in tandem with the hyperlink. That's why it's there. I just haven't removed it. And then, you know, sometimes I will still put it in there. When I'm trying to move through these, I don't even bother with this. But if I'm going to be giving this to Max to show him, all right, I think this one is a winner. Please take a look at this one. Tell me what you think. I will put that in there.
Right. You could do the conditional formatting and apply it to what you have right here. So, for example, when you click marketing on a drop-down box, have that whole row highlight to whatever color you have up there on those headers. That would be cool.
Idea. That's an excellent idea. I hope you know I'm taking that. I'm taking that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't need those top two rows. I would have deleted those out. Those and you're already way past that system. Your old system, this one light speeds ahead of it. So you can mount the old one and move on to the new one.
I'll do it. But yeah, that's the reason why they're there.
All right, what else you got? Keep going, Justin.
So now got a little calendar right here. Put the date in, less typing. I haven't automated this one. That's going to have to be a manual one for right now. And also rentable square feet.
Those are manual from the OM, and your taxes manual from the OM / if you really do have to call the assessor, manual from calling the assessor.
Correct. Now we've got the price per unit, or like sometimes the broker will tell you what it is, so you can just type it in. If they tell you we want, about around 45,000 a door, you can just type that in here, right? It'll do the same thing. So, and that's really it. And I put this over here, like I made it so that it would give you, what it is at, price per door at 90%, 75%. But like right now, I don't even know that this matters. I don't even know that this matters. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that matters. And I think you could link it too, like make this 90 and 75 blue, so they're inputs, and then drop that into the formulas on these two if you wanted to too, just to automate that slightly and make it match the other strike and offer price. Just that one's per total property and this is per door.
Mm-hmm.
So, the changes I would like to see, like I think this would help too. Justin, unhide the drop-down list tab and show us that bucket list, because this is where I think if Tarina could see this part, this would totally, you do not need that bucket list anymore, because I think I would put this right into the template area. I told Justin that. So this is the mini bucket that's adding up those categories. And here I would like to add in the other income good versus the other income bad, and the idea that our other income only includes 50% of bad other income, and the other things Tarina was doing, some of the rule of thumbs that Lindahl's used. Here that could be incorporated. And I would take it out of this drop-down tab and put it right into the UT template, where people can sort of scrutinize those individual columns as they're going.
Okay.
But it's not, not necessary for the functionality of what you've done. It's a 10-minute T12 underwriting tool right now. It's slicker than slick. So that's all just that. My comments like that are just like maybe minor adjustments to make it more clear, but that's it.
So one question, when it comes to a portfolio and looking at the taxes for a portfolio, there are some nuances where a property could be in one county and the property tax, let's take Texas for instance, the taxes are one thing in that one given county, and then the second property is located in a different county where the rules may be a little different, or the tax assessor has assessed it a little differently. So with those kind of nuances, is that manual is the word I'm trying to come up with.
Yeah, so now, Tarina, I think you're asking a question about the portfolio setup, and I set that up. It allows you to go to each of the tabs, prop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, put in your property and put in the taxes for that individual property, because just like you're saying is very true, they could be in different counties. Then it adds up the total taxes in the combo UT and reverses out the percent.
Okay.
If that makes enough sense to you. And so now if you did go to the combo UT, this does present some problems with taxes, because the combo UT is not very sophisticated at managing that issue, because this whole idea you can turn on and off properties I added later, and I really didn't fix how sophisticated that would have to be in the property taxes in the combo tab. You'd have to manually make sure you were doing that right in the comprehensive tab.
In the comprehensive, okay.
Yeah, but this one, these simpler ones that roll up into the combo UT, they're taking the individual properties taxes and rolling it up into the combo UT as an added number. Okay, so let's watch our time. It's 6:16. Take a survey on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being you like it and 1 being not so much. Hold up your one hand and give your rating of Justin's modifications. Wait, 5 is good, 1 is not good. All right, I got a 5, a 5, a 5, a 4, a 5, a 4. All right, some pretty good scores, Justin. So, what do we do next? I think what you're thinking in your mind is, how can you practice this? There's a shared folder called, Justin, go over to the folders and show that. Oh, it's the one I think I sent. Did I send everybody this that said shared Justin's? What's it called, Justin?
It's the template presentation folder.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to it.
It's under team number 6, master folder.
All right. There it is.
And it's 80008. Yeah, Justin's template presentation. You can go in there and make your own folder in there and then pull in his template and pull in the T12 and practice in there like a sandbox. Did that help?
Did you send that link out, did you say, Max?
Yes. And if not, I'll do it again as soon as I can here. Okay.
Perfect.
But you also
It's
mentioned
in the shared folders that you guys all have, but let's again.
You also mentioned, Max, that you could download this off of the Geeks
Yeah,
website.
Justin.
Yeah.
Justin, while you're sharing your screen, go over to multifamilygeeks.com and scroll down and show the link.
I got it because I just downloaded it. So it's definitely working.
And I gave Justin the original document. If he makes any updates, it should real time update that link. So if he makes adjustments, you can go and just keep downloading a new version like you do for the MFG template. And you should get the latest version that he's been working on, although he might not work in that copy. So it might work that way and might not.
I'll update it as I get things updated and make changes.
Justin calls it a slightly different name. I've been calling it a mod for now. Like, you know how you could modify the old video games and sort of make them, customize them to make them your own? That's what I'm thinking of with this. And I think it's cool it's under Justin's bio right there. I mean, that's got to add some credibility for me, just the fact that you could download it and look at that. Nobody's going to understand it unless they watch the video, Justin. So you're going to have to do some training videos too. All right? and or you guys all have Justin's phone number. You can call him up. And I told him, I said, you're going to have people calling you going, show me how to use this. He said it was okay for now. We'll see how much harassment he can take. But I say we take advantage of it until he tells us to stop for a bit there. Okay, it's 6:20.
Well, those are advanced Excel maneuvers there. That's for sure. So pat yourself on the back, and you're being a little bit shy on that for sure.
Well, I appreciate that.
Okay, so I think that's good. What should anybody want to make any other comments? You want to go around the room or anything, or what do you want to do? Give me feedback on that. If not, we'll go and rate the meeting. You know what we should do? Let's do rate and wrap. So drop to the bottom where we rate the meeting. And then as you give your rating, if you want to say anything, make a comment on what you want to comment, okay?
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
So proud of you, man. I taught you everything you know.
Hey, man, I couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
That's awesome. Okay, scroll down to where it says rating, meeting rating there. Are you back on that? Oh, yeah, you guys are. Sorry.
Hey, Max, can you put mine in? I can't. I'm not where I can do it. Just put a 10.
All right. Nice. Dee, I don't have you in there. Dee, I've got you up toward the top there. Look at the top of that paragraph. Because you were kind of more recent, I put you at the top. Do you see it? And I'm talking about the addresses there, Dee. All right, let's read through them. David, what's your rating?
Sorry, I was muted. My rating is a 9.
Okay, nice. Jay's a 10. Aubrey?
8.
Nice. D? You're muted, D.
Eight. I'm an 8.
Nice, thanks, D. Lucian, what's yours?
I give it an 8. I am all
Nice.
about information and
Thank you.
really enhancing the ability to analyze
Thank you.
a set of data from a high level.
Nice.
Really
Okay. Karina?
For me,
All right, Michael?
An 8.
All right, I'm giving it a 10. I'm jazzed about this whole thing. I like it a lot. Justin?
I give it an 8.
Nice. Pedro?
9.
Nice. Starr? And you're mute beyond Starr.
I'll give him a 10. Thank you.
Nice.
I'm at
And we're
work,
supposed to be,
Sorry.
you know, we're rating the meeting, not the people, just so you guys know, you know, it's a rating of the meeting. So, all right, awesome. That's great. Did I miss anybody? And then I think you're thinking in your mind how to get back around and play with this, but if you can now change your underwriting, even if you're going from 30 minutes on a T12, wow, if you could drop down to 10, I want you to go back and take 100 underwritings and multiply it by 10 minutes and divide it by 60. And that's how many hours it would take you to do 100 underwritings. And it's a huge, it's a drastic drop from what we were talking before. Right?
You want to send Goshen them if they really go? How's it look? Yeah,
Okay,
I'm all
so
right with it. I
that's
mean,
it. I'm going to let you guys go, okay? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great
thank
weekend.
you, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you,
Good
guys.
night. Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you guys. Have a good weekend.